All right, I think we're going to get started here. My name is Dr. Yvette Bordeaux, and I am the director of the Master Environmental Studies program here at the University of Pennsylvania. In fact, I'm the director of two master's programs in the professional master's programs in Earth and Environmental Science. So this is the bigger of the two. So we're really excited to have all of you here today. This is an info session about the program. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat room. And Sally Carty, say hi, Sally.
Hi, everybody.
She is our administrative director, and she will be in the chat answering questions. And if I see anything that maybe would be good for everyone to hear, I can also shout out answers as I go. You can also put them in the Q&A window. So if you have a question, you can put in the Q&A window, and we're happy to answer them there as well. All right, but Sally will be throwing links in as I talk about specific things that we are, things that we're talking about. So let's get started here. All right, so Master of Environmental Studies program has been around for quite a while. We actually started in 1996, so we have over 25 years of environmental excellence in this area. So we've had a lot of time. We have over 350 alumni, and they are in all fields of environment. And they're just such a terrific network that our students can reach out to as they're doing informational interviews, learning about positions out there, looking for capstone project ideas and so forth. So really terrific alumni network. We are, just so you understand, the University of Pennsylvania has 12 schools, and we are in the School of Arts and Sciences, which is the largest of the 12 schools. In fact, we're so big, we actually have 3 colleges, and we're within the College of Liberal and Professional Studies. So, and we are housed in Hayden Hall. That's where I'm broadcasting from today. And here's a great picture of Hayden Hall. And we are in the Department of Earth and Environmental Science. So all of your academics, where you come for classes and so forth, is in the Department of Earth and Environmental Science. Right. Now, this is a professional master's program as opposed to a research master's. What's the difference, right? So first of all, the focus is on helping you find a job after graduation. We're really geared for that. So career areas can be private corporations, NGOs, nonprofits, government. The sky's the limit there, which is environmental. But we're going to give you a lot of extras throughout the program to help you find that first position or next position. Maybe you're doing a career change. Maybe you already have a job, but you're looking for a jump in another direction, or within your own company, we can help you out with that. That doesn't mean that you cannot go on for a PhD, and we absolutely encourage that. In fact, about 1/3 of our students go on for a PhD either immediately after graduation or within 3 years of graduation. So there's no reason why you cannot do both. Go out and work for a while and then go on for a PhD, totally fine. But we are geared towards professional development, and we're going to give you a lot of extras beyond just the classroom experience to help you with that. So why study the environment in Philadelphia, you might ask, right? So first of all, Philadelphia is a leader in green infrastructure. So the Philadelphia Water Department decided that they were going to manage their stormwater issues. We have a combined sewage overflow, and that means that when it rains, sewage goes directly into the river without being cleaned. So not a good situation. The EPA was sanctioning the city about over that. And so the city decided to manage it through green infrastructure, meaning using green solutions rather than gray solutions. So rain gardens, swales, water barrels, green roofs, all kinds of great ways to catch the water and keep it from going directly into the sewage system so that it doesn't overflow and get into the river. That's much better than putting in thousands of miles of pipe and putting in extra water treatment facilities and so forth. So that's been working really well. And that means that you have the opportunity to see that firsthand. All right. And some of our students have worked on projects with the city, or even right here on campus. We have a number of green infrastructure projects right here on campus. Students have gotten involved with those, and it's been really, really fun to see that happen. We also have the Mayor's Sustainability Office here in Philadelphia, which is a terrific opportunity to work on sustainability projects within the city. We have the Energy Office in Philly, which includes Solarize Philly, which is a program to get as many solar panels on the roofs of homes in Philadelphia as possible, particularly in low-income areas. So that's a really terrific project that one of our students is working on. And we have the U.S. Forest Service has an urban research station here in Philadelphia, so you can work with them. They have urban street tree projects, they have water issues. They really cover a whole gamut of things. And then we have the EPA Region 3 headquarters in Philadelphia as well. So again, opportunities to work with these professionals on projects both in Philly and outside. And now the Penn campus. Here's a great photo of the Penn Park. Penn Park has a lot of athletic fields, but is also a green infrastructure stormwater project. In fact, the tennis courts have pervious surfaces, which means that when it rains, the water goes through the surfaces, not off. One of the playing fields actually has a cistern under it and collects the runoff water, and they use that to water the grass. So throughout the campus, we have projects like this, like Shoemaker Green that Sally just put into the chat. So lots of opportunities to be on campus and seeing these firsthand. In addition, past President Amy Gutman signed the American College and University's President's Climate Commitment in 2007. We were the first Ivy to do that, and we have been a leader in addressing all of the greenhouse gas emissions that we have, as well as so many other issues. So we're now working on Climate Action Plan 3.0. And one of my students right now is actually working in the sustainability office here at Penn to start benchmarking for the next one. All right, so you can get involved with internships with the sustainability office here on campus. There are projects all over working on everything from energy efficiency of buildings to how efficient are these stormwater projects that we put in. Okay, next. What else? Well, of course, I just talked about the green infrastructure projects with Shoemaker Green, Penn Park. We have the nanotechnology building, which has a wonderful green roof. We have over 6,000 trees on our 300-acre campus, and that's not including our Arboretum, which is up in Chestnut Hill in Philadelphia, and the new Bolton Center where our vet school has their large animals. So it's a true urban forest. It is, in fact, a national arboretum. And we're very proud of all of the projects we've done on campus. And you can get involved with all kinds of things right here on urban forestry. There's opportunities to work on resilience and adaptation as well, including these green infrastructure projects. We also have the Water Center at Penn. So that is part of the Department of Earth and Environmental Science. And we work with faculty and outside groups on water policy, hydrology, water infrastructure. And there are student opportunities to do research. There's funding for that. They have projects in Pittsburgh right now, West Virginia, as well as in the Philly area. There are conferences that you can attend, as well as internships that you can have. So we have a number of students doing internships with the Water Center right now. We also have on campus the Kleinman Center for Energy Policy. So if you're interested in energy and sustainability, this is a terrific place to check out. So that center works with faculty and industry on energy policy issues, sustainability, renewables, and student opportunities are amazing. So you can attend seminars, of course, and conferences, but you can also get paid internships with them. You can do research with them. They have a competition right now. There's a blog competition. And they also fund people to do internships in the EU and Brazil and other places. So there's really some terrific opportunities to really dive in if that is your interest area. There's also the Wharton Risk Management and Decision Process Center, and they work on disaster risk. And they're currently about to merge with the ESG Center. So we're going to have this really powerhouse group over there that has student opportunities, again, for research. They're always looking for people to help with the research projects, which is publishable. And they have amazing seminars and conferences that you can attend. So do check them out. Now, what about our faculty? Our faculty actually for this program is a combination of both research and professional faculty. So the research faculty are regular researchers. They're looking at soils and atmospheric chemistry, environmental geochemistry, plastics. And we now have Michael Mann, who just joined the department in September, and he will be working on communication and climate. All right, so lots of interesting folks that you can work with if you're interested in a PhD route or you're not sure yet. If you're like, I'm not sure, should I go PhD? Should I go to work? You can go and work in one of these labs, work with them for a while and see if that's what you like. And if you're like, this is not for me, you still have the backup of going out into industry, and we've been helping you build your resume all along. All right, so we also have this professional faculty, and those folks that are teaching in our program come from a wide variety of places, including the Willistown Conservation Trust, Suez Water, US EPA, WRI, and various environmental consulting firms. So they're bringing real world experiences into the classroom every week. All right, now the curriculum. So we are multidisciplinary, which is the case with environment, right? Environment is multidisciplinary by definition. You need to know a lot about a lot of different things, but the program is actually tailored to the goals of your goals and your background. Okay, so we're going to ask you, where do you want to go? What is your, dream job? Or what is your dream? What is your goal? And then we're going to look at your background, and we're going to figure out how we can get you from where you are to where you want to be. So we're going to craft a set of courses that are going to give you the skills and information you need to be a great candidate for that next position that you want. The curriculum actually has 12 courses. Each course unit, we call it a CU, is 3 semester hours. So that's 36 semester hours. There are 3 required courses. The Pro Seminar, that's sort of an intro to environmental studies, but we also look at current issues. It's actually called Contemporary Issues in Environmental Studies. And we do a group project. The group project right now for this semester is working with a small town in upstate New York to become a climate smart community. They have absolutely nothing in place in case of a natural disaster. They have no preparation for climate change in the future, and they really need it. So this class is working with the town to figure out how to come up with a plan for the future as they see more floods and more droughts. It's an agricultural community. There's a research methods requirement, right? You're going to be doing some research. It's called a capstone. And so you'll do a research methods course, and there is a capstone seminar course where you pick your topic. So unlike other master's programs that you might have looked at, I know that the common advice from undergraduate advisors is go find some professor at that school and ask them if you can be in their lab, and then you can go in and work with them, and then you can get into the program. We like to do it a different way. We like to have you come in, apply, get in, spend the first semester taking classes and meeting all the faculty, and then in your second semester, you take capstone seminar, and you learn about all the different projects going on and who does what, and you pick your topic and you write your proposal, and then at the end, you invite the faculty to be your readers. It's like your advisors, okay? So it gives you a chance to meet everybody, and it's very hard to reach out to people cold and try to find somebody. We think this is a better approach, and we really encourage you to just wait till you get here, and then you can meet everyone and determine what you want to do. In addition to those 3 required courses, we have 4 foundation courses. These are courses that are going to give you some breadth to your program. Again, it's interdisciplinary in environment, so you really need to know a lot about many different things. So typical courses in the foundation might be a course in GIS, right? Geographic Information Systems, environmental law, our Future of Water course, which just talks about water and business. So these are all different ideas of courses you can take. And Finally, you take 5 courses in a concentration area. All right, so this is where your focus is. So depending on your goals, you'll pick one of these concentrations. And don't worry, if you apply, say, to environmental policy and you get here and you realize, wow, resource management was what I really wanted, it's okay. You can change once you get here. So don't worry about that. You're not locked in, okay? So here are our concentrations. We have environmental biology. We really do encourage that you have a biology background if you're going to come in for that concentration, because most of the courses you'll take are in the biology department with graduate students in biology. And so they expect a certain level of biologic knowledge as you come in. The other ones do not expect any preconditions or specific courses that you need before you go into them. So you can pick any of those. So environmental sustainability, and we have a focus more on corporate sustainability, environmental policy, resource management, environmental resilience and adaptation, and urban environment. All right, so these are all great concentrations to choose from. And then speaking of courses, some courses that might be of interest to you, we do have some field courses, and these include field study of Puerto Rico ecology, where you go to Puerto Rico for a week during spring break and travel through the island and see all of the different ecosystems. And right now it's all the ecosystems after the devastation of a hurricane. So it's really interesting to see how these ecosystems respond to this constant pressure from storms. We have a birds as bioindicators course where you learn to ID birds and determine how the types of birds that you find can tell you something about the condition of the environment. And then we have creating gateways to the land through smarter conservation. And this is a biodiversity and land conservation course where you're going to be going in each of these, you're going out in the field. And these are not the only ones. We also have a wetlands course where you go out and they just went out to the Great Swamp last weekend. And there's the field ecology, regional field ecology that's based in Philly, and you go out to everywhere from the Poconos to the Delaware estuary and beyond. So lots of great field courses. Whoops. Okay. And then of course there is another course that's a field course where you actually don't go outside, but you actually go on a trip. And there's several of them, but I thought I would throw this one in here because they just went on Friday down to Washington, D.C. So this is the Future of Water course. This was the class. And they take a bus down and they do a day in the life of a lobbyist. So they go to different places around Washington, meeting different people and learning about water issues from the experts. It's a really terrific course. Now the final piece, you have your 12 courses and then you have to do some research. And in this case, it is the capstone. We call it a capstone. It is a thesis, but it's an applied project. And so rather than call it a thesis, which is always sort of research-based, theoretical, this is an applied project that you can do. So we always encourage students to do a project that is usable. So whoever you're doing it for can use it when you're done. Okay, and we've had some terrific projects where students have really worked for organizations or companies that they want to work for after they graduate, and they're showing off their skills and their abilities doing their research, and then they get hired afterwards. So that's a common practice. So your capstone research is going to focus on your career goals, and it can work with your current or potential employer. And they're always applied, okay, over theoretical. We want you to do something that can be used. So you're making a management plan, or you're doing a life cycle analysis for a company. There's so many different really applied projects you can do. In fact, Sally's going to put a link in the chat for Scholarly Commons, which has a few examples of our capstones. Projects are based on the students' concentration and their goals. So here are just some examples of titles of capstones that we've had over the years: energy efficiency financing, assessing habitat quality for migratory land birds, life cycle analysis of the clothing industry. There's just so many. So with over 350 alum, we have a lot of projects out there. Okay, so I mentioned that this is a professional master's program, and so I want to tell you a little bit about the professional development piece. So you've got your academic piece, you've got your courses, 12 courses, your capstone. Well, what else is there, right? Well, a lot more. We do what we call a first year retreat And in this retreat, we take you off campus to another location and we meet for the day, and you meet with your academic advisors who are assigned to you when you come into the program. So you don't have to look for them. Okay, so there was a question about what support does the program offer in contacting the organization the student aims to do the capstone project for. So it depends on the company. If we have a connection, either an alumni or someone we know, we will connect you immediately. If we don't, we ask you to reach out to them first, but we also give you some really great advice on how to get their attention, okay? So but we do have a lot of connections with organizations now around the world, so we can usually help you out. In addition, we actually have something called, we have a Canvas community. So all of our courses are on Canvas. You may have heard of that, or Blackboard or something like that. Every week we post job opportunities, internship opportunities, research seminars, all these things that you can apply for or get into. So we're constantly giving you ideas of people to talk to that are looking for help. Okay, so we can definitely help you out. We won't leave you hanging there. Okay, so in the first year retreat, we're going to meet your advisors. You're going to polish your networking skills. We're going to do some networking practice. We're going to hear from current students about their experiences in the program. And we're going to tell you about all the Penn resources that are available to you, which includes career services, but so much more. All right. Now, then we have a second retreat, which was actually last week, week before last, we had our second retreat, because there's just so much information to give you in that first meeting that we do a second meeting. And in the second meeting, it's not just the new students, it's everybody in the program comes to that. And here we talk about research opportunities, finding the perfect job or internship. We have someone come in and talk about negotiating salaries. Last week, we had someone come in and talk about time management. That's a tough one because there's so much to do. And it's hard to say no at some point, especially when you first come in. And we had an alumni meet and greet. So we had a happy hour at the end. So you could come out after that and meet with some alumni that came by for to meet with students. We have an alumni panel every year in the spring. And here we have 6 alum come, and the students actually choose who they invite. So the students invite people and they come, and then the students ask them questions. We have a panel, and it's a lot of fun and it's so interesting. And that often ends up with students finding research projects with those organizations that those alumni are in, or even internships. So that's always good. We've actually had a couple students get jobs from those alumni panels. So, but they talk about the courses that help them in the job market, favorite instructors, all of that. All right, certifications. So in addition to, the retreats where we're talking about the standard negotiating, resumes, and networking and all of that, we also have certification opportunities for you. Now, these are outside the class time. Okay, but you can, we have these opportunities. Some of them are online, some of them are, say, over a weekend, where you can do modules or meet with an instructor, and at the end you get a certificate. Okay, so, and we subsidize those for you. So we bring them to campus for you, and then we help with the cost as well. So some of them include the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI certification, which just changed up. It used to be like one weekend and you had it. Now it's like a whole set of things. So depending on what you want to do, there's different opportunities there. There's Lead Green Associates. Okay, that's a great certification to get. It's the first level of LEED certification if you're interested in energy efficiency of buildings. Greenhouse gas inventory we'll be doing for the first time this spring, and that will be online. Life cycle analysis as a certificate, that's run by the World Resources Institute, and we're going to have that starting in a couple of weeks. And we've always had the hazardous waste operations 40-hour OSHA course. If you think you might be working in environmental consulting, oftentimes those companies want to see that certification. In addition, we have a floodplain management class, and if you take that class and then do some extra study sessions at the end, you can take the test for the floodplain management certificate. So there's a lot of opportunities depending on which field you're in. A lot of these here that are listed are more sustainability related, but there's also resilience and adaptation, environmental consulting. We have certifications for everyone. And if you don't see something that you want, let us know and we'll see what we can do to make it happen. Sally's amazing at doing that. Okay, so if that's not enough to keep you busy, we have dual degree programs in a number of different schools. Like I said, there's 12 schools at Penn, and we have dual degree programs with the Wharton MBA, the law as a JD, or the Master of Law. So if you don't really want to be a lawyer, but you need to know more about the law, you can get the Master of Law. In the medicine school, we have the Master of Public Health. So Master of Public Health and Master of Environmental Studies. Environmental health is huge now. Nonprofit leadership, there's a master's degree in that here at Penn in the Social Policy and Practice School, and terrific opportunity if you want to work in nonprofits, environmental issues. City planning, the Master of City Planning in the Design School, that's a terrific combination with MES. The veterinary medicine doctorate and MES. Now people like say, well, what's that? Vet and environment, how's that? Well, there's something called One Health, and so it's humans, animals, and the environment. And so this is part of that, where you're looking at those issues, right? How does the environment impact the animals, impact the humans, and so forth. So if you're interested in One Health, this is a particularly good dual degree for you. There's also a dual degree in the Master of Public Administration, which has policy, finance, and government courses. And finally, there's a triple master's program that you can do. It's called the International Environmental Management Program, where you receive 3 degrees. You get the Master of Environmental Studies from Penn. You get a postmaster's degree in environmental management from Minpri Tech in Paris. And you get a Master of Engineering, Environmental Engineering from Tsinghua University. So that's something that if you're interested in, what you do is you come here to Penn, you take 8 courses, and then you apply to this program in your second semester. Okay, you don't apply for it immediately. You wait till your second semester and you apply to it, you get in, and then you do your last year, the first semester at Tsinghua and the second semester at Minpri Tech. You do an internship for the summer, and then you complete your master's capstone and theses for all 3 schools in December, and you graduate. So it's a really terrific program if you can get away from the US for a year, if you're okay with that. It's a really great opportunity. There's also certificates available to you through different schools at Penn. So one is the School of Design, all right, and they have certificates in Geographic Information Systems, or GIS, land preservation, resilience, and energy policy. And the law school has a certificate in law. So if you don't want to go for the whole dual degree, you can get a certificate in law. So these are all extra opportunities that you can do. So you have certifications outside of Penn, and then these certificates that are part of Penn. Well, we don't want to let you, be too relaxed here at Penn with all these other things. So we also have student groups, and we have our graduate advisory board, and they do a lot of different things for us. So one of them is our alumni panel that you've already heard about. They're the ones that organize that, invite the alumni, ask the questions, and field questions from the audience. We have coffee hours once a month, and they help host those. They have an all-student meeting where they talk about issues and what they want to see from the programs, and they let us know about that. They host happy hours. And then these last things are all different things they've done in the past. So depending on the group, they do different things, but we've had them do ice skating, apple picking, wine tasting, haunted house that's at the Eastern Penitentiary, and rock climbing. So there's lots of opportunities to do fun things and just get away from campus for a bit and decompress. Other things that you can do, the global water, the WHO Journal of Gender and Water. This is a journal that is now housed in the Water Center at Penn. It's part of Earth and Environmental Science. It was actually started by 2 of our MES students as their capstone project after they visited India with one of our professors and realized that there was no journal out there that addressed gender water issues. Okay, so they came back and they said, we need to start this. And it is now in maybe the 7th, 8th year. And we've put out at least 1 journal every year. And we get submissions from all over the world. Students are work with a faculty member to review the articles that are submitted and decide whether they get into the journal or not. They can also write blogs, they can write articles for the journal, and then also help with the layout. So there's opportunities to really get in behind the scenes and see how a journal really runs. It's great on your resume as well. All right. Besides these opportunities, I just wanted to mention that there are a number of clubs around Penn that you can join, including several at Wharton School. There's an energy club. There's a ESG club now, and the Water Center now has a H2O club, so a water club. Not to mention that you can also be part of student chapters of various outside organizations like the American Water Association and the Association of Environmental and Engineering Geologists, just to name a couple, right? So there's just opportunities to do all sorts of really neat things with different organizations. All right, other opportunities, because I don't think we've had enough here yet. You can do research with some of the folks in the area. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on campus. And you can work with the Northern Research Station, which I already mentioned, the U.S. Forest Service. There's Tacony Frankfurt Watershed Partnership. They're always looking for students to do projects there. There's the Stroud Water Research Center, really terrific. There's the Schuylkill Environmental Education Center. They're always looking for folks to do projects. They do some really cool stuff with education, art, and environment, all sorts of neat projects. And their forested area is also available for you if you want to do some sort of research project. Okay. So let's see. Extracurricular activities, again, if you didn't find anything you like so far, we have students working on intractable problems in West Virginia. Intractable problems are issues that have not found solutions through normal channels. And in this case, in West Virginia, it's trying to get water to people. So there are towns, whole towns in West Virginia that do not have running water. People do not have running water. They used to, but they no longer do because the infrastructure broke down. They have no funding to fix it, and there's just no way to get treated water to them. So it's really, really challenging. So there are lots of issues there that can be worked on. The EPA Rainworks Challenge, this is something that it's a challenge every year where students come up with ways to manage stormwater on their campus. Penn students actually won last year, which is very exciting. They're actually doing a project in a middle school in West Philadelphia. So the project is actually to manage stormwater and teach kids at the same time, middle school kids, about the issues around green infrastructure, managing water, and so forth. So it's a really fun one. So the question from Alyssa is, what level is voluntary research in faculty labs conducted at? Would the grad student be acting as more of a research assistant or spearheading the research project? Up to you, actually, and it depends on the project. So if it's something that the professor's working on and you go in and you say, wow, I think that's really cool, can I get involved? Then they might give you a small piece of it and say, here, go do this piece of it, and come meet with the PhDs every week when we have our meetings. Or you can go in and say, hey, I'm interested in this kind of a project. Would you be interested in working with me on it? Then you're in charge of that project, right? And they'll work with you on it. We had a student who was from Ghana, and she came back from a visit to family and said, you know, hey, they have a real issue with energy sources, and they're thinking about charcoal, but there's a lot of issues around, is charcoal actually good or bad? And she talked to a professor about it for a while, one of our research faculty, and he said, hey, let's do a project on this. So they went through, they gathered different types of charcoal from different places in Ghana, and she came back with all these sticks basically, and they did all sorts of analysis in the labs, and she ran that project, and in the end they actually published it. So it's pretty it depends on you. Again, if you want to do what we call the canned project, where you get involved with something that's already going on, then you're just doing a piece of it, but you can definitely do your own stuff if you want to. Good question. So the other options are the Patagonia case competition, which our students won third place about 2 years ago. And there was a AAAS case workshop down in DC where we sent one of our students. So there's lots and lots of these types of projects. Yeah, no problem, Melissa, that you can get involved with. All right, now, if you're interested in publishing, there's certainly opportunities to publish. You can publish your independent study work, capstone work, extra projects that you might be doing with some of these organizations, like the Energy Policy, Kleinman Center for Energy Policy, the Water Center, the Risk Management Center. There's always opportunities to publish with them. You can also collaborate again with faculty or local organizations like Stroud Water Research. They're very interested in doing, even though they're not a university, they're very interested in publishing. So you can work with them on projects. We also encourage you to present at conferences. It's not required, but we certainly do encourage you, and we'll help with subsidizing your trip to the conference. It's always great to talk about your research. We also have some special events that we encourage you to attend. The first is the All Ivy Environmental Career Fair that is hosted by Columbia University, and it's all the Ivy schools come to it, and we have all sorts of folks who are recruiting for jobs and internships. And it's been online for the last few years. I'm hoping it's in person again soon. So we take a bus up to New York City and drop the students off at the career fair, and then bring them back that night. So it's a really great opportunity to get to network, and even before you're looking for a job, start seeing like what are they looking for, that sort of thing. And oftentimes the people at the tables are alumni of one of the Ivies, which is always a neat connection, right? We also have a graduate research conference. So our students, when they complete their capstone project, have to present a poster. And so we have this poster session, and students come in, the students, like first year students, will come in and see the posters. But there's also around the edge tables from different recruiters who are looking for students to do internships and jobs, so you can talk to them. There's alumni there. We invite alumni to come, and other professionals. And we also have some of our PhD students presenting this year, and lots of food and drink. So it's a really great opportunity to network and learn more about what kinds of projects our students are doing. Okay, and we always encourage you to do internships, like I said, and students have done, like locally, Philadelphia Water Department, the EPA, the Urban Research Station, FMC, which is a big agricultural organization that has a building right on the edge of our campus. And they have a sustainability office, and they regularly hire our students for internships. We've even had students do internships with like NOAA. So it really is up to you. Our students have gone all over New York City and different places, and also on campus to do projects. So again, we post positions constantly that you can apply for. Okay, so a little bit about program stats. We have 120 active students this semester. It's 67% female and 33% male. I don't think that's a bias on our part. That's just sort of like the applications that come in are about that same percentage. So that's pretty typical. And the average class size is about 18 students. So all of our classes, we try to limit to 18. We did let Future of Water this year, went up to 30 because there was just a huge demand for it. And the professors were like, yeah, come on in. But we try to keep the classes smaller so that you get to know the professors. Typical majors, what do people come in with? Of course, they come in with environmental studies, earth science, that sort of thing. But they're also coming in with different backgrounds like biology, geology, economics, English, political science. There's really no one particular major we're looking for. We're looking for an interest in environment and a willingness to learn, right? And some excitement about a goal, like what do you want to do? Can we help you with that goal? International students are at about 15% of our student population, and they come from these countries here, including China, Hong Kong, Liberia, Canada, etc. Now, a couple of items in case any of you are from outside the US. All concentrations are STEM. Okay, so if you're interested in working after you graduate, you get the extended STEM time. The internships, you can do internships during the summer. In fact, you can start doing internships in your first summer. So if you start in the fall, after 2 semesters, and this is just a government regulation, it's not our regulation. After 2 semesters at Penn, you can start doing internships through curriculum practical training, and you can actually continue those into the next fall and spring if you want to. So we've had a number of students get summer internships and continue them into the fall and the spring, and then eventually get hired by that company when they graduate at the other end of their program. So that's completely fine. It's just the first 2 semesters, the US government does not allow you to work off campus. You can work on campus. You can work in the labs, you can work at the library, but you can work on projects here on the campus, just not off campus. And then after graduation, you're eligible for the optional practical training with the extra time for STEM. Alumni positions, we have a lot of different places that our students go because we have so many different concentrations and so many directions that you can go. So here's a list of some of the companies that our students are in. Like I said, we have over 350 alums, so I could not possibly put those all on here, but I just tried to pick some from the different concentrations to give you an idea. So everything from sustainability, resource management, urban environment, policy, they're all in all different directions, and education. Okay, so next steps. Application deadlines. If you're thinking about starting in January, our spring semester, our deadline is November 1st. So you still have time if you want to. We also have our fall deadline coming up. Early decision is December 15th. So if you get in by December 15th, you'll know right away if you got in. And our final deadline for fall is April 1st, 2023. Okay, we do have rolling admissions. So if you applied today, you would find out within about 10 days if you got in. We do, you know, it can take a little bit longer depending on how busy it is, but we're pretty quick about turning those around for you. We have a committee that reviews all the applications. What's required for the application? Well, there's an application online on the College of Liberal and Professional Studies website. There are 3 essays that you need to write, and one of them is how did you become interested in the environment? What would you like to do while you're here at Penn? And then what's your goal for the future? Like what do you want to do with the degree? So those are the 3 basic ideas. The specific prompts are on the application, but those are the basic ideas. And there's an application fee. And then we need transcripts from all colleges and universities you attended. If you attended American universities, you can submit unofficial transcripts, but if you get admitted, you have to submit the official ones before you can be fully admitted. If you attended any international schools outside of the US, and that includes Canada and England and so forth, you have to have your transcripts certified by an outside organization like WES or CertFile, and they have to certify those, and they'll send that to us to add to your transcript. You also need a resume, and if English is not your first language, you'll need either a TOEFL or an IELTS score, and then 2 letters of recommendation. If you just came out of undergrad, then get 2 academic recommendations. If you've been out a while and working, you may want to get 1 or both of your recommendations from colleagues, supervisors, that sort of thing. Okay. Now, financing your education. We do not have direct scholarships or grants from the department. So most of our students fund their program through subsidized student loans through the US government. From their, if they're from another country, a lot of them have grants from their own countries. Sometimes students work for different companies that have tuition benefits. That's always helpful. There are external scholarships like NSF and SWEP. We do have a little sheet that we send to admitted students with some outside scholarships we know students have gotten in the past. There are TA positions available. They are semester to semester, so you get selected in I think July. So if you get admitted for the fall in July, they'll pick the TAs and let you know, so you know ahead of time if you got one of those positions. We also fund capstone research projects. So if you need supplies or lab tests or whatnot, or you need to travel, we can fund you for that, and also travel to conferences. We can help subsidize that as well. All right. Okay, that was a lot. Does anyone have any questions? Sally has put a lot of links into the chat room, and we can also send you these links if you're interested. So, okay. I'm going to put this up. This is our social media if you want to follow us and see some of the things that we're up to. Anna, who you may have talked to at some point here in the office, she keeps the Twitter and Facebook pages updated with information about what our students are doing, events and so forth. Okay, so the first question is from Melissa, and would it be possible to do environmental biology with a more limited bio background? Are there ways at UPenn to make up for it? Yes, absolutely. I mean, it depends on what kind of bio you want to do. So we can definitely work with you. Some of the courses in our program are bio ones, and we assume no background in biology. So we bring you up to speed. And then after you've taken a few of those, then you can jump into some of the biology courses over in the biology department. It's one of the really cool things about the University of Pennsylvania is that you can take courses in any of the schools and any of the departments, as long as you can tell us why it's a good idea to take it, right? So we've had students take courses in the Annenberg School of Communication. We've had students take courses in the nursing school because they had a really interesting course in toxicology that worked great for them. So yeah, you can definitely craft a program without a specific biology background. It's just a little bit easier if you have it. All right, good question. And then how much time in the second year is spent on coursework versus capstone projects? Good question, Claire. So at the end of your first year, you'll have a capstone project proposal and a plan, right? A project management plan, so you'll know, and you should spend the next year working on your capstone. And ideally, students are making a lot of progress over that first summer. So they finish in May with their proposal, it gets approved by the faculty, their readers get approved, so they have their committee, and then they spend the summer, in addition to doing internships or whatever else they're doing, they might be taking classes too, working on that project. So that by the fall, you're pretty much got most of that done and you're just doing the analysis at that point. You've collected all your data and information depending on your field. That could be field work, that could be getting stuff from databases, talking to people, doing surveys, depends on your field. You want to get that done over the summer if you can. Then you're doing the analysis in the fall and you're doing your writing in the spring, because that capstone capstone event that we do where the students are giving their posters is at the end of March. So you really only have 3 months in the spring. So you're working on that capstone through that whole year while taking classes. Now, if you're going full time, we also, you're taking about 3 classes a semester. So that's going to take up a bit of time, but it's 3 classes per semester. 4 is the max, but we always encourage 3. So you do 3 each semester for 4 semesters. You've got it, and it's not overwhelming. Okay. Hope that answered that question. So the next question is, do students need to apply for MBA at Wharton and MES concurrently for the dual degree program? Good question. So for all the dual degrees, you have 2 options. You can apply for MES first and get in, and then apply to the other program in your first year. That's totally fine. You can apply to the other program, get in, and then apply to our program in the first year and get in, and then it becomes a dual. Or you can apply for them concurrently. Okay, it's completely up to you. My feeling from just working with our partner schools is that there's no, you're submitting a separate application for both programs, although you can share materials. Each faculty in each program is going to independently decide whether you get into their program or not. So there's no benefit saying, oh, hey, I'm already in the MES program, you should let me into the dual degree. We haven't seen that as being a factor in their decision. They're looking at your whole application, not just the fact that you're in the MES program. Having said that, I think we've had 3 MES students get into the MBA program after their first year, just in the last 2 years. So, and the only 3 applied. So it's been it's been pretty good. It is tough to get into Wharton and the law school and the vet school. They're all hard, but it's okay. They're really great programs. All right, great questions. Oh, Sally just put in the chat room the virtual links that she had put in the chat as a PDF. So if you want to download that, you can grab that for future reference. All right, cool. Well, we'll hang out for another minute or 2 in case you have any additional questions. But otherwise, thank you so much for coming today. It was terrific to have all of you guys asking questions. Sarah's asking, since it's rolling admissions, is there a benefit to applying earlier in the year, or does it make no difference? I honestly feel that it is better to apply earlier rather than later. I mean, we do have a limit on how many students we can take, and so they're taking students as they go. And so if they get towards the end and we're seeing like we've already accepted a lot of students, they'll sort of hold all the applications at the very end at the due date until everybody's in, and they'll review all of them. And they're comparing all of them at the end together as opposed to the ones that they were just going along. So I think that there might be a slight advantage to applying earlier. I don't have any statistics to prove that. Yeah. Okay, and then Claire's asking, can you talk more about the subjects most often studied by students who go on to pursue a PhD? Good question. It's all over the place, right? So I have a student right now who's in the geography department at University of California, Berkeley, and he's did a sustainability project here at Penn, and he's doing a sustainability project there. Yeah, no problem, Amanda. Thanks for coming. So he's in their geography department doing a sustainability project, right? It's on circular economy of bikes, bike sharing programs. I have a student at Penn State who's doing an ecology project. I have one in Texas A&M also doing an ecology, alpine ecology project. We have a student up at the University of Maine. Also, I think he's doing, sounds like everybody's doing ecology projects. He's doing a resource management project. I have 2 students who have done PhDs, one at University of Iowa and one at, I want to say, University of Toronto. They both got PhDs in policy, environmental policy. I don't know if anybody that's gotten a sustainability PhD yet, but then sustainability PhDs are fairly new. Most of the students are getting into like policy, ecology, environmental. We had one that was doing an interdisciplinary between health and geography, which was a really interesting PhD program. So those are some of the different places that they go.